Once upon a time, people in South Africa were not all able to move freely as they wished around the country. Do you have any memories or any family memories, anything about past laws?
Well, looking at the past laws, there's a lot that one can say or think about. Being born in the early 70s, you know, you're still a kid when everything else is shifting, is taking a shift. Even when the riots started in 76, I was only 3, so you can't really say you had a hands-on thing that you were part of. You were always trying to work out who Mandela is, why is everyone singing about Mandela, and what is happening, and how is it that people can move around as they please, but you don't have like first-hand experience with it as one would think we did have, because we didn't have jobs, we didn't have many places to go to. I was schooled in Soweto, so I wasn't taking a taxi into town or anything like that. So you don't really get a taste of it. But we have stories that came from our elders and our oldest brothers and sisters that they would tell us stories about how they couldn't walk into certain shops, couldn't walk in like past certain streets, couldn't sit in certain areas and things like that. So when we kept sort of watching the time evolving, we would get a taste of it. But at a later stage, you would sort of see, okay, there is a gap that we never knew existed at that particular time when I was still much younger. When I was growing up, to actually get into the arts was something very different, especially if you look at theatre, for that matter. Theatre was not such a big thing in the townships, especially we don't even have a word for it. There isn't an African word that I can think of that says or maybe explains the word theatre. I mean, one would call it a stage play, maybe have a translation of that directly like that, a stage play, but sort of a grooming of the theatre was quite something that was very far from how we were looking at the arts as a whole. And getting into it, I think, you know, we couldn't run away from the stigma that came with colour. People would know that if you want to be in a theatre that is in town, there is a whole lot of challenges that go with it. There was also time restrictions as to until what time you could be in town, so that actually made it hard for a whole lot of people to be part of any plays or anything like that, because you have to worry about transport, you have to worry about being able to engage, even to fit into that environment. So a whole lot of things were very tricky. I think it just took people like Mr. John Kani and people like that were always out there. Mbongeni Game, I was opening up doors and things like that. So we do have people that were already in the forefront that were opening doors. So we sort of found a way in there through them.
Super.